Let's move to our next presentation that will be by Mr. Tapan Acharya, who is the Chief Revenue Officer with Omni and Arvind Internet Company. So he will be focusing on retail reimagined. To give you a background, as a CRO for Arvind Internet, Tapan is responsible for the business and customer engagement process at Omni. He has upwards of 2 decades of experience working with software brands, fulfilling various roles from markets development to business management at organizations like IBM, Microsoft, Salesforce, Akamai, Freshworks, etc. He has spent the last decade in evolving SaaS canvas for India. Tapan is an IIM Bangalore alumni, is a certified in marketing by Kellogg Business School and hails from Indore. On that note, all to you, Tapan sir, to start off with your presentation.
Thanks, Sandeep. It is always a pleasure to be a part of your conference. So, Sandeep is a very humble person. He never introduces himself. I've been seeing UBS Forum for the past approximately, Sandeep, 5 years. And I know that you are very, very successful and you've been organizing close to 500 conferences and webinars in the last 5 years, which is a fantastic, achievement. Today, I have the pleasure to introduce Namrata, and Namrata is the CEO of Khadims. Welcome, Namrata.
Thanks, Tapan.
So, Namrata, and since Sandeep was talking about the future of e-commerce, I wanted to, take part in it, and no better person than Namrata to talk about it, how Khadims, which is an Indian brand, and really taking it into the future. It's a fantastic achievement, Namrata, and fantastic work that you're doing. Namrata, in the last 1.5 decades, has worked at Fairwinds Asset Managers Limited with managing a domestic private equity fund. She's worked at KPMG, and from last, I guess, Namrata, 2013, you've been on the board of Khadims, so which is
That's right.
Fantastic work. Khadims, no new name and needs no introduction. On 3rd of December, Khadims would be crossing approximately, Namrata, 40 plus years in the India market, and
Yes.
4 decades is a massive understanding of the India market, and you have, if I am correct, more than 700 stores across the country. Correct, Namrata?
That's right.
Great. So I thought Namrata would be best person to talk about it. I was discussing this with her, and Namrata, of course, with her past in fund management and equity, and she's very strong with numbers. So I asked Namrata, why is e-commerce, a big thing? And there she goes with numbers, and she said, Tapan, there are 750 million plus internet connections, and there are 450 million plus mobile internet connections. So that makes a huge catchment area, a huge Indian population, which is around at the age of 25 years to go and consume things on the internet. And then she said the best point, which is, Tapan, in India, shopping is entertainment. And I'd been, of course, knowing that it's shopping is a happy habit, but to put it across, that shopping is entertainment, and these 450 million consumers on internet with mobile data, the way they would go, the way they would shop, would, of course, is a huge tailwind for e-commerce. So thank you, Namrata, for putting that perspective for me at canvas. And then Namrata told me that, Tapan, I'm going to talk about the whole 9 yards. I'm going to talk about what was the past without e-commerce, why e-commerce, what are the challenges with e-commerce, and the newer models of e-commerce for the future. So Namrata, I'm waiting to hear that from you. And of course, I will not let you go easily. So I will also ask you questions in between. And of course, audience questions, Sandeep will funnel that in. Over to you, Namrata.
Sure, happy to answer your questions, Tapan. So I think hi everyone, hi to all the viewers. Tapan asked me to join this forum, and I could not say no to him because a lot of the amazing work we've been doing together. I really hope so. I've prepared a presentation, a short one at that, just so that I can remember my pointers and say them right. I really hope we're going to add some genuine value to the entire conversation and for you guys to hear. Um,
We can see your screen, Namrata.
you can?
Yes,
Okay.
you can put it in the presentation mode so it will cover the entire screen.
It's
Bingo.
come?
Bingo.
Okay. So I think though Tapan has given some has shared some numbers. I'm sharing some broad data points which is out of my experience and some out of reading some interesting reports in the past couple of months. So there's a lot of discussion around e-commerce and omni-channel and how the potential is so huge. Um, and it is, and there's no two ways about it. So as Tapan mentioned, we're 40 plus years, we are 700 plus stores, but it's taken us so long to reach, so many outlets and 700 stores, right? But e-commerce gives you that platform from day one itself. I can reach the 700 stores within, a couple of years, depending on how well I do the e-commerce. So I think, but having said that, we are still just 3.5% majority being technology products, which is phones and TVs and the rest. But it also indicates a very, very strong headroom for growth today. Most companies, the percentage of omni-channel and e-commerce contributes around 4-5%. But and this is in India. China is at the highest at around 14%. So just to give you a context, there is a huge headroom for growth across the world, across markets, and across categories. So I think we are a good. We have a very, very huge scope for growth here. Sorry. Um, sorry. Second point being, you know, there's a lot of conversation around whether online will take over offline. But I think it's a bit too early to say something like that. It is definitely at 3.5% where we are, and in many companies it is around 7 to 8%, 5 to 6%. Online will definitely complement offline business, but we don't expect it to replace it anytime soon. And I think one of the main reasons for that, as Tapan mentioned, our conversation, that there's scarcity of entertainment in this country. Today, if you be it in the urban cities or be it in the tier 3 cities, if you have to go out, what are the options for us to do except you go have a meal at a restaurant, you'll go to a mall for shopping, you'll possibly go to a movie hall to see a movie. There's not too many of options that entertainment options, and shopping being one very strong entertainment options, which is also driven by with the festivals that we have. Festivals drive shopping. Celebrations drive shopping in the country. Today you have Diwali, you've got a puja, you've got festivals like this where people, it's a reason, it's a lever for people to go shopping. So scarcity of entertainment, as I said, celebrations. And also, if as we all know that we've been seeing so much of FDI coming in the country in retail real estate, be it in Blackstones of the world, Brookfields of the world, Warburg Pincus. They're taking huge bets, CDPQ, they're taking huge bets in real estate in the country, and especially in retail assets, which reinforces the fact that retail is also here to stay. Um, just some very interesting and healthy signs that in the last 1 year, 97% of the postal pin codes in India order at least one item online this year, which signifies that it is e-commerce reaching to the common man. It is reaching to the lowest common denominator, which is a very, very strong sign, or which suggests that the numbers that or ratifies the numbers that Tapan was trying to make some time back, that the number of broadband connections is just it is increasing on and it is also showing that the impact on e-commerce very, very strongly. 3 out of every 5 orders are from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So I think India, in India, the domestic travel has increased. You have almost, million plus travelers across per year, and that is also helping people to be aware of what is happening in the town, in the cities. So from tier 2, tier 3 cities to towns, people are to urban cities, people are traveling, and from urban and from India to abroad. So that's increasing the kind of exposure people have in terms of brands, in terms of retail experience, in terms of products, which is where they are becoming more demanding in terms of what they want, which is why we are seeing a good amount of traction from the smaller cities, and that's a very, very good sign
That's a
in
very,
terms of
that's a very,
in terms of purchasing power, which is also reinforced by the fact that my next point, where the average selling price in tier 2 and smaller towns is only marginally higher than metros and tier 1s across categories. So you will not see more than 10 to 12% of difference in the buying pattern and the purchasing power, in the cities and tier 2, tier 3 towns, which is a very, very powerful thing to say, because the perception that the metros or the tier 1s will command a much higher price, but I think that accounts to a very, very small minority of the country, which also suggests that the potential to increase ASPs, potential to sell much higher price products, to the potential to have a much stronger product mix towards premium categories, allows you to have a much wider audience as well, and you're not limited to the cities itself. So, I've spoken about the positives of e-commerce, but as I said, consumers. The first point I covered in the last slide itself. So today, why is e-commerce picking up so much? It's because consumers today are demanding better products, experience, service, and instant gratification, which is why people are coming more online. And because of the experience they're having, because of the exposure they're having, they want better products, they want better experience. Because, as an example, today Zara has come to India, or H&M has come to India. We have a lifestyle which has come to India. If I don't give that same experience in terms of on the offline side, and even on the online side, I will not be able to compete with them beyond a point. So if I have to stay relevant to my current audience or my newer audience, I will have to justify the kind of similar retail experience that I'm offering there, so that I'm not losing my current customers, I'm not becoming irrelevant. So, and that's also a function of the fact that customers are demanding that, because of the exposure which I mentioned. People want convenience. People don't. People now have tasted blood. They are spoiled, and so are we. I do a lot of my shopping online, and that's brought in a lot of convenience to my life. So that applies to all of us, and so people are demanding, concepts like, suppose I go into a store. I've spent that much time, spend an hour going to that store. If I walk into the store and don't find the product of my choice or of my color, or of my size, I should be able to get this product delivered to my house, and that's an option Omnichannel offers you. And that's what like, for example, we're working with Arvind on this, and we've done a fantastic job. So I think all of our 200 plus company-owned outlets, we have installed this omni-channel piece where any customer walks into the store, doesn't find the product or size or color of the choice, the product is delivered at their home, their doorstep. That improves customer experience. That wants that the customer knows that he'll be taken care of once he enters our store. He'll also we are also working on a concept where, if especially given this COVID times, where if the customer doesn't want to spend more time at the store just for the for their own health and their own protection, they order the product online and then they pick it up from the store based on their time of convenience. That's something which we are working with Arvind again on. uh, Next is this entire concept of omnichannel. What exactly it is? It is from the company's angle, the ability to service the online orders from any nearby stores. Suppose today we have 200 company-owned outlets and around 600 500 odd franchisees. How do we leverage it at the in the best possible way, so that we leverage our stock more appropriately, so that there's working capital efficiency, we reduce logistic cost, and we help reduce the time for reaching the customer. So this, if you have a very good network of stores, the best way to leverage it to also increase your sales of your offline sales is to use that as a platform to service your online orders. That's something which we have explored with again Arvind on you know for servicing our own Khadims online orders. Plus, through we are also working on servicing the orders for the marketplaces as well, and that has definitely helped us on the back end to able to service the customers better, and try reducing a logistic cost, which is a huge component of the economics of the e-commerce. Another point, which we don't take, we maybe think it's a part of business today, is returns. Today, a customer walks into a store, he buys a product, he wants to return the product online, he wants to come to the store and return. He buys, suppose he buys it online and he wants to walk into a store and return it. He wants any possible. Suppose he's click online and pick up from a store, and then again he wants to return it either the store or online. They want multiple ways and a seamless experience to be able to deal with the brand, and that is, though it sounds pretty simple, it is a very, very complicated mechanism, and it is still not as evolved, but we are working on it very, very diligently. In fact, with Arvind on this, Tapan and I have had a couple of conversations, and he's asked me, like, what is your view, why omnichannel, and what is your view on how we want to go about. My answer has been simple, that see, I need to create a very seamless experience for the brand. Wherever the customer is, however the customer wants to buy, however the customer wants to return, we should have it all there, either online, either offline. He should know that he's taken care of. There should not be any scope of contention in his mind that वे मैंने ले लिया है लेकिन मैं return कैसे करूँगा, it's a process, it's very difficult. That should not be in his mind. Sorry, I think this is just, but though the potential of e-commerce is huge, there's a lot that is spoken about in terms of numbers, in terms of as number of smartphones, number of broadband numbers, the sales numbers. There's a huge potential, but the back end, there's a lot that we need to work on. So I joined last year, in a full-time capacity, and I was very keen to push this entire e-commerce business much more strongly. But I realized soon enough that it's not as simple as one makes it out to be. It's not as simple as you go, you put you catalog your products, click pictures, put some description, put them up online on the marketplaces or on your website, and it will sell, because you have a good products at a good price point. Having good products at a good price point is just not enough, for you to sell online. It requires a lot more than just that. And to start off with, I think internally within our system also, that requires a change in mindset. We are very used to an offline business where today if there's a order that comes in today, if our franchisees place an order, or we need to service our company on outlets with stock, it doesn't matter that if it's serviced today or it's serviced tomorrow. But in case of online, that urgency to service the order is there, and that requires a huge change in mindset internally within our own system, in terms of back-end supply chain, in terms of the sales people, the way their outlook has to change, and that has required a lot of push from my end, from the management's end, to ensure that we are able to get there. I am not saying we are 100% there yet, but I'm sure we will be 50-60% there. I am confident we'll be able to cross that bridge as well. Um, Second point is, omni-channel or e-commerce is not something, for which most companies have developed internal capabilities. We are still very dependent on external agencies, be it with regard to, inventory management systems, performance marketing systems, or omni-channel network management systems. It's and that's also because though it sounds like e-commerce has been there since quite a while, but it's not as simple as the orders come with the services from the warehouse and sell it. It is a lot more than that. You've got multiple e-commerce platforms which place orders. We have to figure how to be able to collate all the orders into one bucket, and in a way that matches with your inventory. We cannot be taking orders of stock which we don't have, leads into many more issues. That's you have a separate system for that. You have for your own website, how do you ensure that this attraction comes to your website? There is a marketing strategy that you need to adopt. Very, very basic, be it through Google, be it through Facebook, be it through Instagram. There's a marketing, remarketing strategy that one needs to take. And there are agencies that help you with that. So that's another, side of it. On the omnichannel bit, we're working with Arvind, who are helping us very, very seamlessly on the back end on the various things that we want to do. But this ecosystem is great because it helps us stay relevant. But at the same time, there is no agency that helps us on the end-to-end basis. Something, a conversation I had with Tapan the other day, that it'd be great if you guys can just help us in the end to end, so we don't have to deal with 10 different agencies, because the coordination from our end in terms of all of them becomes a task, especially if they don't work as extended partners. Because from our angle they are an extended partner, because otherwise without them we won't be able to do the kind of work that we are doing. But many of them, they prefer to be working as agencies, or vendors. So that doesn't really solve our problem. In fact, the first conversation I had with Tapan, I told him, listen, we're going to be working together, but I don't need a vendor. I need a partner, because you're going to be, in my mind, you're a part of Khadims, you're a part of our company, our ecosystem. So, but that is very essential, because if they don't work as partners, they work as vendors, you're never going to get anywhere. So choosing the right partner for this work is very essential. Um, Another thing is that your internal technologies, everyone has an ERP, every company has an ERP or a SAP system. That integration of that into all these, be the inventory management, performance marketing, omni-channel, your website platform, that needs to be done, and it's a process. Unless and until you've got a very strong team, your ERP has the ability to connect with the APIs of all agencies. It can be very tough. So, and you need the right people, you need the right systems internally to be able to capitalize and monetize on this, on all these options that we have. Next point is, see, the logistics infrastructure in this country is still very distant. Though I mentioned like 97%, I mentioned a point about that 97%, has. Sorry, I just missed that point.
97% pin codes are serviceable.
Yeah, have been serviced last year. But the thing is that it's still, I mean, though it sounds very glamorous, it may be by a distant. In some cases, it may be. Oh shit! Did it go? Okay, is the presentation there?
Yeah, it's there. Just click the next slide. Yeah, it's here. Just open the Teams window, Microsoft Teams window, you would be able to see all of it again. If you're using an Apple device, it tends to go to right or left.
Has it come?
No, now you've stopped sharing, I guess.
Has it come now?
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it's there.
Now it has come.
Yes, it's there. We can see.
Okay. But in a lot of cases, the delivery partners that are there, the serviceability of the pin codes is also still a problem, and even returns from the pin codes. In some cases, you can service them, but the returns is still a huge problem. So then the customer is expected to go to the nearest postal office and deliver the return over there, which is not a very good again customer experience, and then you get very negative feedbacks on them. So though these numbers sound very glamorous, but on the many a times you're not able to reach the lowest common denominator because of this the logistic infrastructure that we still have. Delivery cost is very high. In our case, the cost of delivery is around 15 to 20%, 15%, including returns. At times it can go to 20% as well, depending on if it's a national and if it's a return, it can get very high. So there needs to be more investment, and there needs to be more involvement on this side for it to become more commercially viable as a business. Many a times, the delivery partners are still not as evolved, and sometimes the products are lost in transit, which causes even more chaos from our end and also the customer's end. These are basic problems, as I'm saying, but these are real issues that we all face. So even on the omni-channel bit, I've had a couple of conversations with Tapan that most of the popular marketplaces, though we're talking about omni and we need to be able to evolve, and we are in the this new era of omni-channel, but fact of the matter is that many of these marketplaces are still don't have a very strong backend, and they still need to do a lot of work to to develop the omni-channel bit for themselves, because the technology or the heavy nature of orders that they get, they're still not as evolved. So there's still a lot of work that needs to go on the back end regarding to that. There's another very interesting point I read somewhere, and I think it does make sense that we just have 9 minutes from a customer who walks into your online platform or is trying to see a product on an e-commerce platform. So they spend 9 minutes before buying or not buying. So you need to be that attractive to him to be able to take his attention for him to spend that money on him or her, by him or her. Another point is that 1 in 2 visitors browse the image gallery, and only 1 in 15 click on the product description details. So we need to really invest in catalog images and videos. This is another very interesting point, because when I was trying to build the entire e-commerce business in the last couple of months, the point was that let's just take pictures, catalog, and put them up, and just put up a product description. But that doesn't help. We are reinvesting in the entire process of cataloging, because the catalog needs to be so convincing and so exciting that the customer wants to buy your products. The finishing needs to be right. You need to come up with nice videos with some nice models to be able for it to look attractive to a customer. How the product looks on your feet, how in case of footwear, how is the finishing, what are the color combinations. The more glamorous you make it look, the more chances that the customer buys. So that time and money investment from the brands is very essential, because I'm literally spending double the amount of money for all of this work, because we do realize that it does cause for people will come and see the products, but the conversion will be less. So it does impact numbers accordingly, and does impact then the ROAS, which definitely impacts your commercial viability of the P&L. Next point is, there's so many brands and so many unorganized and organized brands which are there on the marketplaces. How do you stand out amongst all of them? Again, it's not as simple as again having the right product with the right price, put on the marketplaces or on your website. You need to be able to stand out and increase your visibility on marketplaces. Now, that's either through the brand marketing or product marketing or influencer marketing. It's not as simple as just throw up, put up, choose the banner ad, and you'll get good conversions. No, but this is a process. If you do not get this right, your visibility will be very, very low. And it's not as simple as the your top products where you put some money, and it will sell. Your lower products will put some money and it will sell. No, you have to have the right marketing and remarketing strategy on the right products, in terms of the choosing the right products, the price points, the keywords. It's another world in itself, and I think we need, and one should not take this very lightly, because this can also result in making in a huge amount of cost without any sales if this is not done right. Next point is,
Namrata,
sorry.
it is so fantastic to hear you, because you've experienced it, and you're touching on all links of the value chain, be it mindset, be it process transformation, logistics limitation, marketing, customer approach, cataloging, technology, readiness of the ecosystem. And if I could recommend someone a 20 minutes compendium of what to know everything about the evolution of e-commerce, I would definitely recommend this session. Fantastic. I just got a cue also from the organizers that we have a 1 or 2 minutes to wrap up. So, Namrata, over to you. Back.
Okay, so I'll just make it, I'll possibly go to the next slide. I think the question on, how does the future look? We are seeing, the vernacular as a concept picking up much, much stronger, voice as a concept picking up much stronger. What we are also seeing, doing is trying to localize our marketing and localize our website as well, to be able to be accessible to the lowest common denominator who possibly don't understand English. English as a first language for most of for people who have English as a first language are a minority, a huge minority. So I think if you're looking at really monetizing the potential for e-commerce, vernacular is the right step to go. I think I read some number that around 55 crore of people, by 2022 will on digital platforms will be those who have preference for vernacular as a language. Next point is, in the last 1 year, we have seen a 4 times increase in the number of people in India who, have started watching the OTT platforms. Which again goes to say as to why today a Mirzapur is doing very well or a scam is doing very well. And that also suggests that people again are exposed to so much on that side. So we have to figure how to capitalize on that platform. Today, a lot of my marketing, when we do for our own website, for our e-commerce website, or even the marketplaces, is trying to focus more on video, because that's something which connects and resonates with the audience much more today. And I think be it on the e-commerce or be it on the offline marketing, this is a very, very strong medium. In fact, during Puja, we did this campaign of Ebar Puja just Khadims, where we took some local stars of the Bengal, of the East, and we came up with some 5 videos, and I think they did really well resonating. I think we reconnected with our existing and newer audiences very well owing to this kind of platform that they choose. There are new concepts coming up, like conversational commerce through WhatsApp, through social shopping of on Instagram, Facebook shopping, and that's something which we are working on very aggressively as well. We are in the process of just launching our WhatsApp bot, which has which has taken a little longer than required because again the ecosystem is still not as progressed as even the e-commerce. E-commerce has still progressed pretty much. Conversation and commerce and shopping, social shopping has still to progress, and hopefully Arvind will help us much more better there as well. Uh, just last point, a lot of the e-commerce platforms are utilizing every possible mechanism to ensure that the customer stays with them, either through gaming or through movie content or through some kind of freebies. They are using the digital ecosystems very strongly to ensure that they continue to have loyal customers. As case in point, Amazon. I mean, Flipkart is doing a very good job with it nowadays. So I think that is where the loyalty program is going to go from the offline to the online. And we had to stay relevant. I think we should be able to adopt, evolve, and be available and sell on any platform. As long as we are able to make money, I think we should be ensure that we are available on every platform. So I think that's all from
Nam-
me.
this
I'm
is this is so fantastic. You've covered topics regarding cataloging, marketing, margin mathematics. How does logistic cost impact margin mathematics, and how PIN codes are forward serviceable and how they are not return serviceable, which doesn't bring along the entire customer journey. If I could recommend someone a 20-25 minutes compendium to learn what the important aspects of e-commerce, I would definitely recommend that. And so coming from you, Namrata, the way you feel it, it was so visible, so audible, and where you were sharing this knowledge. Namrata, thank you for your time on coming on this event today. There are lots of customers and lots of questions, and Sandeep is pinging them, but I think so. We also have a cutoff on time. So we'll have to funnel the questions to you later, and maybe if you could respond on an email, or we could have a chat together, and then Sandeep can send out the answers later on. Will that be fine with you, Namrata?
sure, definitely happy to address all the questions. Happy to pass on whatever experience I have. Um,
Fantastic, Namrata. It is a delight. It's a treat to listen to you. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you. I hope it was useful to the audience.
Oh,
And look,
it is lovely. I was watching the questions and chat, and it was lovely. So thank you very much, Namrata.